More Heart Than Talent Radio.
Jeffery Combs, president and founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated, on a rainy Northern California day, last Tuesday, February 2019. Welcome to the Facebook Live today. We're going to have a great live today. As Emily has joined us, Scott Huminski, Ray Cataline, welcome, thank you. Appreciate you being on here live on this last day of last day of February 2019. Have a great call lined up for you today. This week's topic are the 5 decisions that affect your prosperity, and that would be the alignment of money. The term is getting money right. I have a brand new signature book called The Breakthrough Factor. This will greatly assist you to not only get money right, but to be able to move into a much higher level of consciousness. On our call today, we're going to break down, or on our live today, we'll be breaking down your dialogue with money, how you interact with the opportunity to create prosperity, the transactions, the ability to sell, brand yourself, create money in free enterprise. How skilled are you at asking, receiving, and deserving? Well, these would be some of the components that will determine whether you have a business for profit or a nonprofit business from the discomfort of your home. A few quick announcements of what's happening for me at Golden Mastermind. We're right now today in the transition of a new website. We had a new website built, so we're in that 24, 48-hour transition. So if you have any challenges with tickets, your back office, or any situation like that, you can contact us through customer service or through Facebook Messenger. So if you have any challenges, you can contact me through Facebook Messenger in the next 24 hours. But in the next 24 hours or so, we will be back in business with a great new, streamlined, simple website to navigate. So we're looking forward to having you look at our website as soon as possible, because we definitely want you to be able to purchase this book. This is a groundbreaking book for me. It's a book that I've had in the process for a number of years, and it really breaks down cause and effect and why you do what you do, and the let go process. So in the laws that govern money, if you grew up in a household where you had 20,000 meals, and the way that money is spoken about, talked about, interact about, and there's a high probability that some of that has a lingering effect on how you perceive the opportunity and or the way you go about creating your money. Now, money is a topic that requires understanding of the laws that govern money and what that means. That's numismatic law, the laws that govern money. If you're really skilled at it, you will be a skilled numisticist. This coming weekend in Saddlebrook, New Jersey, March 2nd, Diane Hunt Hughes will be hosting my More Heart Than Talent. I'll also be covering Facebook Live at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Diane has hosted 6 events for me over the last 2 years, and I have much gratitude for her. And I'll be covering a lot of the content that I cover in my Facebook Lives at those events, only in a much more expanded version and a much more in depth in it, in why we do what we do. So if you live in anxiety, fear, and doubt about outcomes that haven't happened, then what you're doing is holding on to the past, worrying about a present, so you can get and stay overwhelmed. On March 9th, I'll be at the Dulles Airport Marriott. March 16th, I'll be in Spartanburg, South Carolina. March 23rd, I'll be in Las Vegas, Nevada. And then March 30th, I'll be in Kansas City, Kansas with Kaylin Hobbs, an exceptional friend and client of mine, who I've really assisted her to really move into a state of consciousness where she's starting to attract her reality, people and situations that are providing her purpose. And I wrote a post right before this call. If you go back right about noon Pacific, 3 Eastern Standard Time, I wrote a post on being purpose-driven and having a purpose. When you are purposeless, oftentimes it means you've lost your meaning or didn't have a meaning. So you'll wander through life. This is what most people do, is they wander through life and they don't really have a purpose. And so they're tiptoeing quietly through life, oftentimes arriving at their grave safely. Now, if you determine that that is not me, that is not you, and you're committed to either finding your purpose, attracting your purpose, or being able to develop a purpose, and that means you're looking for meaning. Meaning is cause. When you're cause-driven, when you wake up in the morning and you have a cause, a purpose, or life has meaning for you, then you typically won't be in anxiety, fear, and doubt. When you're in doubt, when you're not certain, when you're wondering, I'm in this business, I'm not sure, I made a few phone calls and no one got back with me. Well, that happens to a lot of good people because they start to doubt if they can succeed. They doubt if they can stay in business. They start to doubt themselves. Now, when you separate your feelings from the events that create anxiety, fear, and doubt driven by emotions, anger, hate, resentment, guilt, shame, abandonment, rejection, and overwhelmed feelings, you begin to elevate and raise your consciousness. Your objective is to become so skilled at letting go that you are letting go. And there's no separation between how do I letting go and then I am letting go. So that when you let go, you're able to let go easily and effortlessly. Because as you let go consistently, then you're not in any doubt because you know. You're going to have challenges letting go because you doubt what to do, who to be, how to do it. And then you'll overwhelm yourself in the analytical, egoic brain, processing, thinking, and analyzing about why do I, how do I, in these situations. Now, when it comes to being able to create prosperity, reciprocity, transactions, money in free enterprise, it's a skill set. And your dialogue with money is going to determine oftentimes who and what you attract. And as you change your ability to attract, I mean, in any type of situation in the world, we definitely want to be improving who and what we attract. Men and women of influence, men and women who are persuasive, men and women who are part of our cause, meaning, and purpose. And that's why once you plug into groups like Toastmasters, 12-step programs like AA, NA, adult children of alcoholic, network marketing, direct sales, or you have teams that you join, or you start teams, or you start group pages, or you become cause-driven, then all of a sudden your brain starts to operate in a whole different level of prosperity. That means in the flow. And as you live more frequently in the flow, that's the hands-free zone, not the hands-on like this. I'm not certain. I've got to be perfect. I got to be right. And in that type of energy, it's a very low level of vibration, because you're transmuting your feelings from rejection, abandonment, anger, and some of these other emotions that actually make you look unattractive, not physically, but emotionally. So your emotional energy is going to be a byproduct of not only just the basics of how you feel, but when you're transmuting from a sense of purpose, then you're transmuting from a much higher level of energy, because you're not in scarcity, you're not in lack. You're not in worry. You're not in anxiety. You're not in doubt. You're not worried where the money is going to come from. Well, money comes from relationships. Money is going to come from products, services, benefits, features, skills, and then the assets that you create. Real estate is a way to create assets. Building branded products is a way to create assets. Having skills can be an asset, because any of these you can monetize. Your dialogue with money will be a direct reflection of how you feel about yourself, and then how you feel about the possibility, the probability, or the reality of being able to create the commerce. Now, if you're coming from this state, and this is a very, very common state, not one of the 50 states, but this is a state of consciousness that many people live in. Not good, ENOUGH. Now, this is a state that many people reside in, not good enough. And what does that actually mean? It means that you're living in a state of unconsciousness or an anxiety, fear, and doubt based on unresolved issues from past events, meaning that you probably don't know why you do what you do, or you may do know why you do it, but you don't know why you keep doing it. And then you try and wrap your brain around it. You try and make sense of the situation, which further compounds how overwhelmed you are. As you begin to let go of being overwhelmed, meaning you're more focused, in a relaxed focus, not a hyper focus, not a worried focus, but a very relaxed focus. And you start to focus on wealth creation, creating money, creating value, creating service. As you let go of your anxieties about outcomes that haven't happened, as you let go of your deep-seated rejection and abandonment issues when it comes to selling, branding, marketing, writing. I'd put myself out there, but I'm not sure if. Well, who am I to? I mean, how can I teach anyone success when I haven't been successful? First of all, you don't have to teach success. You want to be able to show success, and you want to be able to direct people where they can be successful. If you're relatively new in the process of success, and you're in a business that requires some leadership and or team building skills, well, you don't have to be the best leader. You don't have to be the best team builder. You don't have to be massively successful, but you can also say to someone, you look right over there because that's the path to success. Are you willing to get on it with me? I mean, that's the simplicity of breaking down how to lead someone. Leadership is influence, and you want to be able to influence self. So in influencing yourself, it starts with being good enough. Any kind of wealth creation, skills with money, any kind of skill that involves receiving, asking, and deserving, well, the bottom of that is esteem. So if you don't have esteem or regard for self-esteem, if you don't have self-esteem, then you're virtually operating in a mixed message. Hi, join me, but don't get too close to me. I'm not comfortable with self. So why don't we just go ahead and I'll run away from success and I'll come back to it another day. And that's what many people do, is they avoid learning the skills. The number one skill you learn is the skill of letting go, separating feelings from events that shape them. It's a longer breath cycle. That releases the neurons that wire and fire. Monitoring your word choices. You actually see the sentences that you speak and you realize, wow, that's lack. Oh, that's non-commitment. Oh, I don't know a lot. Oh, I start a sentence and I go down here. So many people do. Their sentence structure is unstructured because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know who they are. And so they lack a word called clarity. And clairvoyance is being able to see the future. That's being able to know. And you want to be able to have that clarity. That clarity is what gives you purpose. That sense of purpose is what drives you. That is what inspires you. That is what keeps you productive and producing results. That's what keeps you in the solution rather than the problem. So to have a prosperity mindset, that's point number one on my 5 keys to getting money right today. A prosperity mindset means that you're skilled at the flow. You keep money in the flow. You keep results in the flow. You have people in the pipeline. You always have ideas. You're innovative. You're creative. You're not stuck. You're not overwhelmed. You're in the flow, meaning you're in a higher level of consciousness than most of society. You're able to adapt and adjust. It means you have a level of flexibility where you're not rigid. You're in the flow. You're in the hands-free zone. You can drive the steering wheel like this or like this with your thought. You're able to be in the hands-free zone. You're driving hands-free. If you've ever ridden a bicycle without hands, you can ride it for blocks or ride a unicycle. Well, that requires balance. And that balance that you require is a relaxed balance, because as you ride a bicycle and you've learned how to do it, you learn, well, this isn't that difficult. But we start off with training wheels, and once we take the training wheels off, we find out our balance. Well, that's a pretty easy exercise. Well, that's also a state of flow. But what happens if you don't pay attention? You run over a crack, or you're not paying attention and you accidentally run a stop sign or something. Well, there can be collateral damage of that because you weren't in the flow of it. As you're in the flow, it's a different type of energy that emanates, transmutes, and comes off of your body. That is called consciousness. That is called love, joy, bliss. That transmutation transmutes prosperity, reciprocity. Join our culture. It's a very comfortable place for you to come join. I mean, it emanates a warmth, a love, and there's no conflict and friction in that. And in that type of prosperity, there's also a level of humility, and the truly humble person cannot be humiliated, because a truly humble person is so skilled at letting go that they don't perceive being rejected or abandoned. So they're able to neutralize that energy relatively quickly and move on. And to create wealth and prosperity in business, it requires that you not personalize situations. You're able to move freely and flow right beyond the situation. So you're not overwhelmed. You're not looking over your shoulder in resentment. You're not in any envy about some of the future. You're not jealous. You're right here and you're right now. You know there's space and room for everyone to prosper, also knowing that the law of prosperity is only for a select few who are willing to go through the process, and you're willing to be that person and flow through it, to be that person who can deliver prosperity and eventually reciprocity, the give back process. So if you're ever going to have if you're going to create money and own a business, then you're required to understand some money skills, i.e. money goals. Meaning, do you have a budget? I mean, do you know what your profit and loss is? Do you actually write the checks out in your checkbook? I mean, do you know how much money is in your corporation account? Do you have a corporation? Are you incorporated? Do you actually have a business? Do you have a business checking account? Do you pay quarterly taxes? Do you have an accountant that assists you with your business and free enterprise? Are you an S corporation, a C corporation, an LLC, or an LLP? Do you understand these structures and what it means? Are you a sole proprietor? I mean, are you really in business? Because if you're in business, own a business, you're incorporated, then that means you want to have some money goals. And you want to create enough money that you pay yourself. So in payroll tax, the only tax that you're paying is you. And so on your payroll right now, you're drawing a payroll from your corporation. And that means in a money goal, you create enough money, at least $10,000 a month, so you can draw a paycheck from your corporation. And you start to understand the basics of tax law, money skills, and then you have clearly defined money goals. But if you're in the dark about money, you don't understand the interest in your house, you don't know how much you owe, you don't know if you're in a 15 or a 30 year, you don't understand the points on the loan, you don't understand closing costs, or any of these situations, or how the real estate world works, well, then there's a high probability you're going to have challenges with money. And you want to understand to move beyond debt, because that's what most people know, is they have a lot of debt, they don't understand it, they don't understand the interest rates, they don't understand the points that they're on, and what they do is they make minimum payments. Well, minimum payments keeps you feeling very minimal because you feel very small because you never have any money. As you begin to separate your feelings from events and you start to write contracts, you can read a contract. You have a better understanding of what is required of you and be in business. Well, I thought he was a really good person, so I decided to engage with him. Well, with no contract? I mean, if you buy a house, it's important that you understand the contract. If you engage in business with any kind of contractor, there should be a contract on that contract so that you're clear about the outcome that you are seeking to create. And the more clarity that you possess, the more you understand why you do what you do, you're going to have a higher probability of letting go and moving to an elevated level of consciousness where you can change who and what you attract. Now, to have money goals is to let go of any guilt associations with money, because money does not respond to guilt. Money responds to people who are responsible. And the more responsible you become about your own clearly defined money goals. So when someone says, I want to make $100,000, I want to replace my income, well, that would be a start, but $100,000 in today's world after taxes is about $5,500 a month, or perhaps a little more, depending on your tax structure. But there's no loopholes for the rich and famous. That's another misnomer. The most wealthiest people typically pay the most in taxes. There's not any big advantages for the rich the wives' tale that you seem to. If you're going to be a millionaire, you're going to pay in the 40% tax bracket. Be comfortable with it, and also be grateful that you're that type of person to create that kind of income. And to be able to be that person, I'm covering some of the key components right here. So if your objective is to live a good life, it's going to be your responsibility to understand the money required to be able to create that good life. And that good life that you're seeking to live is going to be a direct reflection of time and money, so that you have the time that you can enjoy the creation of what you've created. And if you seek to live on a beach, if you seek to live somewhere, well, define that beach. That's clarity. Where is that? If you're not clear, then you're uncertain. If you're uncertain, then you have no purpose, no meaning, and no cause. And if you live in so much difficulty that you can't even set a goal because of your degree of difficulty, then that means you're overwhelmed. And what most want-to-be success seekers do is they spend a lot of their most valuable commodity time avoiding what they set out to do, that's succeed in the business. And if that is you, contact me either immediately during or after this call for a free 20-minute coaching session, so you can assess and understand the cause that creates the effect of why you do what you do. Also, you can go directly to Kindle and download this book immediately. You can go to one of the chapters that will assist you with that breakthrough factor of the cause that creates the effect of why you do what you do. So your career, That's really your vocation. I mean, if you're an entrepreneur, that's your career. And the niche within entrepreneurship, well, that becomes part of your vocation. When someone asks you what you do, I'm a business owner. Well, what do you own? I own a sales and marketing business from the comfort of my home. Have you ever considered owning one yourself? I mean, that's a U-turn question, but you want to be able to have reflexes and be able to respond, not react. That's a reaction. I'm in a company. I mean, that's I'm a coach. I mean, that's how many people they transmute their energy. They're not clear and they're not certain about what they do and who they are. Now, if you're watching this content today, it's imperative that you start to cross that bridge today emotionally of I am good enough. I am capable. I am lovable. I am here and I am now. And that is a very relaxed focus. So be clear on what your career is. Your business is going to be a direct reflection of your ability to relate to self, relationships that you attract and create, and how relatable you are. And that's warmth that you exude. And over my 2.5-day workshop over the weekend, many people don't understand. I was covering this to my team that weekend, is many people don't understand the energy they emanate is not the kind of energy that people are going to respond to favorably. If you live in a lot of anxiety, fear, and doubt, if you break down easily, if you're worried all the time, if you're overwhelmed, and use the word all the time, if you're overwhelmed, if you're angry and you're shut down, shut off, oftentimes your energy is not conducive to a connection. Sometimes your energy can be so hostile that people can't possibly relate to you. And that kind of person tends to be a victim. They wonder why this happens to me. I can't believe this. Well, it's because they live in a lot of resentment. And there's the other person who's been rejected and abandoned a lot. And they're so afraid they're going to get in trouble, make a mistake, and all the other multitude of stories that they continue to perpetuate to fulfill their low self-esteem, disappointment. As you start to understand why you do what you do, and you start to step out of that anxious body that you've lived in, and you start to step into that person called self, and the person you're not only you're capable of, but the person you are being today. That person that you want to be in the future is really the person you're being today. And as you start to be that person, that's not faking it till you make it. That's honesty. That's integrity. That's like, I know I'm capable, and I will practice that solution the rest of the day. I already had one client today who told me she was smoke-free yesterday. I did a coaching session with her. She was very rigorously honest about where she was in this process. She committed to herself and told me she would account to me later that she had a day of sobriety, and I acknowledged that. I was very proud of her. That's accountability. That's the one day at a time process. That's changing what you've been changing. It's that situation that will allow you to feel more comfortable. If your objective is to create wealth, a business, create money, and free enterprise, it's going to be a direct reflection, not so much about how you feel about money, that's next, but how you feel about self. As you start to feel better about self, and you spend less time on the past and less time worrying about the future, and you can spend more time right in here, in today. And in today, I'm living the solution. Today, I'm in recovery. Today, I feel very prosperous. These are affirmations. Affirmations with a belief is consciousness. And that conscious awareness that you begin to bring into your business, your enterprise, your team, your culture, your group, you're influencing yourself to let go. And you're starting to influence others to let go. So you'll attract to your reality other let go success seekers. People are letting go relatively quickly. Now, when you can teach let go skills, you become a niche. You become the law of the few, because few people ever really learn to let go. They don't understand the mechanism required, how to take a longer breath, how to change the word structure, how to forgive and let go, and how to be here and be now and focus on what you can focus on, and stop being, I'm not where I should be. Well, you are, or you wouldn't be right here, right now. It doesn't matter whether you've been a wage earner all your life and all of a sudden at 49, 50 years old, you want to be an entrepreneur. Well, you don't want to look back and say, well, I haven't had the education. Well, last year's education isn't important to today's inspiration, because it's your inspiration today which can overcome your lack of any education. And the education you require is a PhD called a public high school diploma, maybe, and what you really require is street sense, the ability to be innovative and creative and adapt and adjust quickly in a place called free enterprise. And if you have a lot of debt, the solution to debt is paying it off. That is the solution. And the solution to debt is liquidating some of your debt. Sometimes sell off some situations that aren't really serving you, or liquidate some of the household situations that you have, even for pennies on the dollar. Have a solution to pay off your debts one debt at a time. Start with the smallest debt, create a victory by paying one off, and then retire that debt on that situation to begin to move systematically through a situation that you're eventually free of all debt. I'm free of all debts. I've been free of all debt for many years and feel very comfortable about the assets that I'm creating, because it's the money that you used to pay toward debt that you divert to fun, travel, and then retirement. Money should be a good experience, not as an experience that's filled with anxiety, fear, and doubt. And your health is your greatest asset, because without your health, what do you have? So that means you process less, you worry less, you're more in your body, you're here and you're now, and you start the quantum healing process, that you become your own best practitioner. You become your own naturopath. You educate yourself on the body so that you can live in a place called optimum health. And then last but not least, point 7, prosperity consciousness. Prosperity means, in Latin, it means prospero. It means to flow, in the flow. And that in prosperity is also a reference sometimes for money, but it really means a good life. As you begin to live a good life, people will start to feel that in you. They'll want to join you. They'll want to be a part of what you're doing, because they know you're an ambassador of prosperity, an ambassador of change. And if you're doing any kind of branding, social media, that's the message you want to be able to convey to people, that I'm living life, I am fun, I'm teaching fun, I'm interesting, and follow me, because I can lead you to wherever you're looking to go. And so that's prosperity, and you want to be able to live in that life. My name is Jeffery Combs, president and founder, Golden Mastermind Seminars Incorporated. This Saturday, I will be in Saddlebrook, New Jersey. That's this Saturday with Diane Hughes Hunt. The following Saturday, I will be in Dulles Airport, the Marriott. That's the 9th. The 16th, Spartanburg, California. The 23rd, I'll be in Las Vegas, Nevada. And March 30th, a 5-Saturday month, I'll be in Kansas City, Missouri. If you're looking for a free 20-minute coaching call, feel free to reach out to me. And this book is available on the front page of my website, goldenmastermind.com. You have a great day.